I'm here today with Larry from the Yoder Farm, and he's going to tell us a little bit about a SWOT analysis and what exactly that entails. So Larry, can you first start out with giving us a brief background of your farm?
I would be happy to. The Yoder Farm is located just north of Fort Wayne, and this is a 200-acre farm, very diverse operation. We have maple sugaring, we have fresh asparagus, we grow some grass hay for horses, and also have some of the land, of course, in timberland for the maple sugaring production, and also a portion of it is in the Conservation Reserve program. Other acreage is devoted to very conventional corn and soybean production. And this is a family farm that is organized as a limited liability company, and there are multiple family members involved, both in the actual ownership of the LLC, as well as other family members who contribute and help out. So it's very much a group operation.
Perfect. And can you tell us a little bit about the SWOT operation that you employ here on your farm, and give us a little example of how you have used that to benefit you?
Certainly. When we're talking about SWOT analysis, of course we're not swatting mosquitoes or anything like that, but it stands for S.W.O.T, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Okay.
And I certainly recommend a farmer of any size becoming familiar with that technique as they review their operation, or especially if they consider moving into new areas in their farming operation. And so here at the Yoder Farm, we're located only a few miles from the Fort Wayne suburban area. And we certainly are no different than anyone else. To see the green space and the open farmland consumed in other ways is always heartbreaking. But at the same time, being close to those urban areas provide some very special strengths and opportunities. And so in our case here, we've looked at the strengths not only of the farmland, i.e. there is soil suitable for growing asparagus. There already are mature maple trees, because we're in that part of the forested Indiana. And we have some expertise and personal interest in those specialty crops. So those would represent a strength. Now, in the same way, one needs to be aware of weaknesses too. I'm no spring chicken, and so one has to take into account the labor base, the ages of the operators, so what's possible in that regard. What are the areas of expertise? If I were to begin raising llamas, I would have to be spending a lot of time learning about that. And so we need to be aware of those both personal characteristics as well as what our farm is capable of doing. And similarly, then, that sort of goes along with the strengths, are the opportunities. We are always on the lookout for new niche markets. Anyone in business will tell you that you're most successful if you're identifying either the perceived or real need of a fellow human being, and then with integrity and expertise meet and fulfill that other person's need. It's very satisfying to the producer, and the consumer feels very well cared for. And so any opportunity that allows us to do that represents a great plus. So in our case here, because we're very close to an urban area, folks looking for destinations close by that are unique in character, that provides an opportunity for us. Well, finally then, kind of along with the weaknesses are the threats to any operation as well. And I like to divide those into threats that one can manage and threats that are beyond our control. Now, using the term threat perhaps is a bit intimidating, but it says these are things that you have to keep an eye out for that could create real problems if you're not paying attention to them. So, for example, threats maybe beyond our control would be things like wildly escalating taxes or global or national inflation. Those are things we cannot personally and directly control.
Yeah.
We may have some influence in the political arena. And then there are threats, certainly, that we can pay attention to. And I'm thinking here of liability issues, so that one is properly protected in that way. We need to always be prepared financially. Is there an insurance and an estate planning program in place that if you desire to preserve an operation over several generations, that you pay attention to? And a viable, thriving enterprise, whether we're talking about a 5-acre truck operation or a 5,000-acre corn and soybean operation or a livestock operation, a successful operation is going to pay attention to those 4 areas.
Well, that sounds great, Larry. Thanks for sharing your knowledge on that.
Oh, pleased to do so.